In the previous section, we created a LabVIEW FPGA project for a FPGA target in a Windows computer. By the end of this module, you'll be able to create a LabVIEW FPGA project for an FPGA target in an RT target. Okay, now let's go through the steps for setting up a project for an RT target. So if you have an RT target, what you want to do is you want to right-click on the project item. So notice it's the project item at the top there. So you would right-click that, and then go to New, and then Targets and Devices. In this window, you have two options. So you can either, if you have a RT target that's already connected on the same network, then you can go ahead and select Existing Target or Device and discover it. And then you'll be able to click OK, and the project will automatically discover your target. However, if you're trying to add a RT target and you don't have it connected yet on the network, you can go ahead and select New Target or Device. And then once you've selected that, under New Target or Device, you'll be able to browse and create the target that you're going to receive in the future. If you're using a compact Rio, the next screen that you're going to see is a Select Programming Mode screen. So for the purposes of this course, since we are going to be using the FPGA on the compact Rio, we want to select the LabVIEW FPGA interface item, and then click Continue. Here we see a LabVIEW project with the cRIO connected. So if you take a look at it, under your project window, you see a cRIO 9074 item, and notice that there is a bright green circle next to it. If that circle is bright green, then that's going to indicate that your cRIO target is connected to your project. If the cRIO is not connected to the network, then you'll see that green dot go to a dark green. Okay, so if you see a dark green dot, that indicates that your cRIO is not currently connected to your project and it's not connected to the network. So we see the cRIO 9074 item on the project, and that's going to represent your cRIO RT target. Beneath it, within it, there is a chassis item as well, and the chassis is what actually contains the FPGA. So this is why the FPGA target item exists under the chassis. And then finally, under that, you'll see the different modules that are connected to that FPGA. On this slide, we see how the different items on your Project Explorer are connected with the graphic that we showed earlier. So notice that we've got the My Computer item, and that's going to represent your Windows system. And then you've got the cRIO 9074 item, that's going to represent your RT system. And then within that RT system, you see that FPGA target, and that's what's going to represent the FPGA that's on the back plane of your cRIO. So in exercise 2.3, we demoed this earlier when we created a LabVIEW FPGA project for Windows. And exercise 2.4 is going to walk through instructions on how to create a LabVIEW FPGA project for an online compact Rio RT target. So in the following demo, I'm going to walk through the steps of exercise 2.4. And feel free to follow along, and also feel free to do it on your own later on as well. In this demo, I'm going to go through some of the instructions on exercise 2.4, and we're going to create a LabVIEW FPGA project for a compact Rio. So in this case, we have a compact Rio, a real-time target, and it happens to be connected to our network already. So let's go ahead and create a project for it. So first thing we're going to do is create project. And then we're going to create a blank project. Okay, because my real-time target in this case is not on my computer, it's actually a separate compact Rio that is on the network. I'm going to go to Project, I'm going to right-click Project, go to New, and go to Targets and Devices. And I'm going to choose Existing Target or Device since it's already connected to my network. Now I know it's a compact Rio, so I'm going to go down here to compact Rio and expand this. So now it was successfully able to detect my compact Rio target that's already connected. And I'm going to select that and click OK. So in this case, I'm going to use my compact Rio, and I want to leverage the FPGA on it. So because I want to use the FPGA, I'm going to select FPGA Interface and click Continue. In this case, I do want to discover what C-Series modules are connected to it, so I'm going to click Discover. And now if you look at the project, notice that it was able to detect my compact Rio, Notice also that we have a bright green green dot over here. This means my project is connected to that C-RIO right now. Notice that it discovered the chassis, and then under the FPGA target, we've got different types of I/O. So we have chassis I/O, we have I/O from one of the modules. So here we have thermocouple 0, 1, 2, and 3. We also have analog input here for this module. We also have analog output. And here we have the different modules here. So I'm going to go up here. And you can also collapse these down if you don't need to see them at the moment. And now we've successfully added a compact RIO target to our LabVIEW project.